Welcome Aquarius, this is Moonstone Soul. My name is Deborah and I'm going to do your November general reading. I have shuffled the cards, meditated on them, and I've been sitting there with a couple of crystals that are particularly relevant to Aquarius. We've got a lovely little chevron amethyst, and we have a nice little raw aquamarine. You can see the sparkle, but that is a stone of Aquarius. So I'm using the Aleister Crowley Top deck. I think the imagery really suits the Aquarius mindset. It's not one I use that often, but I really like it. So we'll go with that one. And I'm just going to do your Celtic cross. Now just bear in mind this is a general reading, so if the messages don't resonate with you at all, or only partly, then I suggest you check out your moon and your rising signs to give you a bigger picture. But hopefully you will find something in here that does relate to you and what's coming up for November. So we'll start with the centre card, which is your current situation. And here we have the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, and, oh gosh, what's the other? Scorpio, sorry. Oh, I missed that. Now, Knights are about movement, moving forward. As you can see there, they also, this particular Knight has a cup and offering, making an offering, and that's looking forward into the future. So this is something that might be quite new, but it's looking to go forward. So if you know someone who's a water sign, or perhaps somebody who's just expressing their emotions, that could relate to that card. If it doesn't relate to a person that you're aware of, it could be an offering of not necessarily romantic love, but friendship, even a passion project. But generally it's talking about romantic love. And with these other cards that are popping up, I suspect that's where we're at. Now what's crossing it, which could either be a help or a hindrance, is the Death card. So that is death and rebirth. That's something that's you're having to leave behind in order to start something new. And that may be a bit of a challenge for you, particularly if you've been with somebody. Aquarians are really loyal. Once they commit, they're there, and they will be very loyal. So perhaps, for whatever reason, you feel that there's a relationship or a circumstance that you need to leave behind in order to take on this cup of love that's being offered. That may be what's making things a little tricky for you this month. Now, just before then, this is sort of coming out of October, lingering energy, but it's leaving, is the Four of Swords. So that is about rest, meditation. That's called truce. It's kind of a hiatus, if you like. So if that's been your situation, when you've just taken a bit of downtime and had a bit of self-care, maybe even looking into a bit of spiritual work, that's a very good place for which to come into a Knight of Cups card. It's not been like a betrayal or anything. It's not even heartache. It's just taking some time out, some rest, maybe taking a break from the dating scene, or if you're in a relationship, it's been, taking a bit of downtime. But that means that you are now ready to leave that behind with the Death card and go forward with the Knight of Cups, which is pretty lovely. So that was from the past into the present and looking into the future. Around in a couple of weeks' time, we have, oh my gosh, the Prince of Cups. So in this deck, the Knight is called the Knight, but he represents the King. And the Prince represents the Knights. You just got to remember that. But they're very male cards, and they are both talking about moving forward emotionally, heavily emotional cards. And then you may have spotted down here the base of the situation. If there was any doubt that this is a love reading, we've got the Two of Cups. This is love, love, love. But in order to do that, you really do have to let something go. And maybe that's where you live or a job. You might have to move. Prince and Knights can often talk about movement. You can see the movement of the air here is going forward. And so is the Knight or the King in some decks, also going forward. So in order to go forward with these lovely emotional energies, you're going to have to let something go. Now, what's crowning you is the Devil. Now, the Devil card gets a really bad rap. And when it's actually in a love reading, which this clearly is, that can just be a little note of caution to make sure that you're doing this for the right reasons. And just also be a little bit careful that the person that you are attracted to or involved with is in fact available. Because the Devil card can talk about lust, something that's not going to last, but looking ahead, I think it probably will. So just be mindful of that. You may even have your own doubts there. That are you doing this just because you really fancy the person? It's a deep kind of sweep you off your feet attraction, or is there something deeper, something more substantial? So we're going to look now at your ego card, and that's the Ten of Wands, oppression. So you're feeling that this is weighing on you. Okay, your ego is perhaps tortured a little bit with this, and it's had enough. Maybe you've been thinking about it a bit too much, maybe overthinking. You need to release those wands and make a decision and go forward with it. So once you make a decision about whether this is just, a short-term fling or something more substantial, actually, real love rather than just attraction or lust, then you can get rid of this oppression. Might be just bringing you down a bit at the moment. But in the outside influences is a really lovely card for a love reading, and that's the Hierophant. Now, it could go one of two ways. Like I was saying earlier with the Devil card, is there a possibility that the person involved is already married or partnered? Because the Hierophant is the card of tradition and marriage is part of that. So it could go one of two ways, and we might clarify it shortly. Now, the Hierophant is talking in a love reading about marriage, a conventional relationship, a solid partnership, looking to go forward with that, perhaps even have a family. And I think we need to just find out in a little while where that's coming from, whether that's the person involved is thinking you might be marriage material, or the person involved is in or trying to get out of a marriage. So we'll clarify that shortly. In your hopes and fears, we have the Tower. So again, it could go two ways. We'll know, I think, a bit more when we clarify the Hierophant. So the Tower, in your hopes and fears, you could think, like here, it's just a short fling and it's all going to crash down, and you don't want that to happen because you obviously have a real solid romantic feeling about this person. Or it could be, if the person is already coupled, that you want that to crash down. Either way, it's delicately balanced, isn't it? We are going to get some clarifiers. But first we'll look at the outcome card for perhaps around the end of November. got the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is all about knowledge and inner wisdom. I think you are going to have to do a little bit of soul searching regarding this. There's not a resolution at the end of November. Not for this. It's not gone away. It's just you maybe got swept off your feet a little bit by all these declarations of love and the physical attraction and all that. You really just need to step back a little bit. Be still. Come back to this kind of mindset. Just do a little soul searching to see which is the best way forward with it. So I'm just going to clarify the Hierophant. So what did we get with that? The Hanged Man. Two pretty full-on cards. Now these cards relate to things that are going on around you that you can't control. Your environment, other people. It looks like there's some indecision there. So I will just clarify the Tower. And we've got 5, strife. It looks to me, even though I don't have the normal cards of what I would consider deception or third party, there's something holding this person back. They really like you. They really see the potential for something long-term and solid. But they are held up. Perhaps it's divorce situation, and they really can't move forward until they've sorted out the settlement or children or what have you. So you're both a little bit stuck at the moment. And with the Tower card, which was in your fears, you've got strife. So you feel that this relationship could actually cause you some problems. Now the 5 of Wands is really, when it comes to strife, it can be overcome. They're niggles. They're little setbacks. But it looks very much like the person you're involved with isn't going to be able to move forward for a little while, which is why you're having to really do some deep thinking and find the answers from within yourself. We all know the answers. We just need the time and the inclination to sit down with ourselves, maybe take a break from the person so they're not right there. You need to just get your own mind sorted, and those messages do come to you, and often through meditation. I'm just going to look at the bottom of the deck now. What have we got? The Prince of Swords, which is an air sign card. Air sign like yourself. And he really can be quite cutting with his words, but he's an intellectual. He's cerebral. So he's just giving you the message there that these emotions need to be tempered with some thought, which is reiterated with the High Priestess. There's quite a little dilemma there, I think you've got. They aren't easy, particularly when your emotions are running high and you really like somebody and you want to explore that, maybe look long term. These hold-ups are going to continue through November. If this is your situation, if it's not your situation and you're already coupled with somebody, then I think it's possible that your partner is rethinking, having another look at the relationship. Maybe some things need to change for them as well. So it can apply to singles who are looking, and it can also apply to couples who maybe need to do some readjustment, hold still a moment and rethink this relationship, see how it can work better going forward. If you're not coupled, not looking, not interested in dating, then perhaps you just meet somebody that might turn your head, this Devil card. Even if you're not really interested in looking at a relationship, someone might come along, maybe even a short-term plan, and make your heart go a little fluttery in November. So however it plays out for you, I think it all needs to be overridden by a little thinking. And also the High Priestess is about knowledge and thought. but really it's about going with your gut, checking in with your intuition. You'll know which is the right way to go. This might take a little time to get there. So I've drawn an oracle card from Colette Barron Reid's Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. We'll see what this says. Yeah, okay. The Dragon's Jewel. So this card is about inner conflict, morality, and a conscious choice. That clearly ties in with the reading there, particularly the inner conflict, because you really like this person. The Two of Cups is saying, yeah, it was all lovey-dovey, and the Devil is saying, ooh, really? Is it? And you fear that it could bring you some problems. They could be overcome, but it could really become an upheaval, and there may be niggles to tweak out. But those are big questions that you need to think about. So we'll see if this Dragon's Jewel card helps you with that thought process. The Dragon's Jewel takes place at the proverbial fork in the road. It's both ally and challenger at once, as it represents the tension of opposites. Even though the truth is what we live in unity, we experience the duality of faith and doubt, love and fear, right and wrong, black and white. This aspect of your current experience asks you to accept that although you may be going one way, another may call you to change direction. Could be the Devil card there, and you've got to work out if that's right or wrong for you. Now is the time to inquire whether it's your ego or your soul leading you. There are always choices in life. Decision-making also solves inner conflict. If you're torn between two dragons, the one that you choose to feed will be the one that wins. Which is it? If it's not the one that serves the highest of your intentions, deliberately feed the other, and the jewel will be won in your favour. So that would indicate also that there is a choice to be made that may have some moral implications. It may be turning you upside down a little bit, which is where this oppression comes in. You're not sure, and it's weighing heavily on you. So try to clear your head and shake off that oppression, because it's really hard to make good decisions when you're feeling like that, feeling overwhelmed. Perhaps the strength of the emotion or the attraction has really just clouded your head, and you feel weighed down with that, because you should be fun and exciting and lovely, but there's clearly something going on that makes this not a straightforward situation. Excuse me. So we're going to close out the reading with a Crystal Angels Oracle card. This is by Doreen Virtue, and we'll see what crystal she recommends. Gold. Very nice. Pretty gold. Divine intervention. Be the High Priestess there. God sends miracles to answer sincere prayers. So if you look within, look to the divine messaging coming through you, your questions will be answered by the look of it. But I'm going to read this card to you. Gold. Divine intervention. You can expect a miracle to help with a situation you're concerned about. And you're obviously concerned about it because you've got the oppression and you've got the Tower and the strife. This card indicates the need to hear and follow divine guidance, which is the High Priestess, which comes channeling through you, which is really knowing your inner wisdom. Many prayers are answered by God. You can substitute that for whatever works for you. Angels, universe, destiny, the higher self, whatever suits you. So many prayers are answered by God, giving you a set of instructions to take action steps, which will bring about the blessed outcome. So do keep your mind clear and sober so that you won't miss noticing them. Create quiet space as well so you can hear your inner voice of God. Keep giving this troubling situation to God through prayer, including praying for help and surrendering the concern if you are struggling with fear or control issues. Since gold is associated with Jesus, this card can also be a sign to reconnect with him. So, as I said earlier, you may need to go back to this state of mind, a bit of meditation, a quiet space, some rest, and self-care. Keep a clear head. The answers will come. So about gold, this precious elemental metal is considered valuable because of its relative rarity and its malleability, which makes it soft enough to easily transform into jewellery. Scientists believe that gold arrived on the Earth from asteroids. While technically an element rather than a crystal, gold, like copper, which is also featured in this deck in the form of azurite and malachite, is both symbolic of the divine and an amplifier of prayers and intentions. Gold is also the aura energy colour of Jesus Christ. So, it's pretty profound, gold. You're all very familiar with it. And it is a pretty special metal. So perhaps while you're going through this process of deciding which dragon to feed, you might like to slip on a bit of gold jewellery, a ring, bracelet, watch, pendant, chain. And I wish you luck with it because it does look like it's causing you a little bit of concern, trouble. And there's potential there with these love cards for it to be something really special. But there are issues that need to be sorted out. And November, I think, looks to me like it's going to be one of those months where you're just going to have to deal with these issues so that by the end of the month, you will be in the place where the answers will make themselves known to you. So I wish you luck with that, and I hope November goes very well for you. And I will look forward to seeing you in December for the last monthly reading of the year. Thank you. Bye now.